Okay, so thank you very much for accepting our interview with iChongqing. First of all, could you introduce yourself and then give a general overview of Thoughtworks and their operations in China and worldwide?
Yeah, my pleasure. First, I spent my 20-year career in software industry. And half of them are in Thoughtworks. So basically, I joined Thoughtworks about 10 years ago. And in this company, I learned a lot from agile transformation, from the way of thinking and how we do digital and how we enable our customer to be more digital. This is what I do in Thoughtworks, and also I learned a lot from this company. So I'm proud that I've been part of the company here, and also witnessed the whole growth from like 100 people to now 2,000 people in China, becoming the largest global operation of Thoughtworks. So basically, we have 2,000 people in China, and we have 7,000 in total globally. China is the largest operation here, and we got 6 offices in China. We have Beijing, we have Shanghai, we have Shenzhen, we have Xi'an, Wuhan, and which one? And Hong Kong, actually. So this is something we have been very determined to enter this market and to help the enterprises here to be more digital.
The everyday person who doesn't really understand the significance of digital transformation and upgrades, what do these terms mean in a simplified manner, and what benefits do they generally offer businesses and their customers?
Yeah, that's a great question. I often been asked about what is really digital transformation. I think in a simple word, digital transformation is about integration of technology that can fundamentally change the way you do business, the way you deliver value to our customer. It's not about building software or platforms just to be more informationalized. This is more about digitalize, how to change the way you do business. So I would say digital transformation is more about changing the way you do business, change the way of you thinking, and change the way you operate. So that's the nature of digital business.
My impression is that smart digitalization could be a major challenge for many industrial sectors, traditional industry sectors. In your experience, what are the chief difficulties they encounter, and how do you tailor solutions to meet their individual needs?
Yeah, another great question. Oftentimes, customers asking us, can you build a platform that can enable us to do all kinds of digital business? Or can you build an e-commerce site? Or can you build an ERP system for us? These are all digital, but these are not the most difficult part. The most difficult part is how you think and the way you perceive digital. So we said the cultural transformation is the first thing the CEOs and even board level should encounter into the digital business. Without a cultural transformation or cultural change, it will be extremely hard to implement any digital initiatives. So when we talking to customers, especially talking to their CEOs and board level, we always tell them, first start with an agile transformation of your organizational culture. First, change the way that you people that are always be afraid of failure. Tell them failure is acceptable as long as you can pivot to the right direction. So it's a culture of experiment. It's a culture of always test your hypothesis, test your experiment, and get comfortable with failure. And then you can eventually get to the ultimate success with digital. So that's the hardest part. And this is the first thing all the CEOs and the executives need to implement. So digital transformation is not a simpler work that the CEO or CIO or CTO should take. It's first to start from board level and from CEO. It must be driving from the top level management to do a cultural change.
Can you give us a detailed case example where Thoughtworks helped a traditional business achieve smart digital transformation?
Yeah, there are actually quite a lot of examples in China. There's 2,000 people here in China with a vast number of cases for local and multinational companies in China. Taking Daimler, for example, this is a 100-year history automotive, the legendary automotive maker in China. And China is definitely their largest market here. However, they're also facing how they can tailor the market needs and how they can satisfy the local customer, which is very different from the customer in North America and in Europe. And the way they started is the digital transformation. So they start from the customer interface side, how to interact with their customer from the dealership, and how they can quickly response to the customer need through their enterprise and application systems. So this is how they started the digital transformation journey about 5 years ago. And we are fortunate to be part of their digital partner, and we started to interact with their end users and with their dealerships, and we come up with a new way of how their dealership interact with their customer with their mobile devices. So with that mobile devices, they can pick and choose, even see a demo of a car, and also they can do a quotation. The end-to-end sales process and demo process can be implemented on a single mobile devices. We call that one-touch retail. And now it's become a benchmark of how Daimler doing digital business in the automotive industry in China, and even we expanded the business to Europe. And the headquarters is implemented these digital devices. So this is actually a small example of how traditional automotive makers, they can utilize the digital initiatives to accelerate their sales process and also how to satisfy their customer. Also, there's a new way for interaction can actually get a lot of data and feedback from the market from the first time. So this is small cases, but a good illustration of how digital can help the traditional enterprises. We have quite a few similar cases here, even with local companies like Huawei. They are 10 years ago, they came to us asking for agile transformation. And this is one of the first pioneer companies who started agile transformation in China. And you see the market position of Huawei. They are really staying ahead of the curve, and always cutting edge technologies are implemented there. And we are lucky that be part of their transformation process.
The fourth edition of the China Smart Expo is taking place in Chongqing this week.
Yeah.
Has Thoughtworks participated in the exhibition and forums in the past? And what will be the nature of your involvement this year?
Yeah, good question. This is my personal second time in Chongqing, and I'm fascinated by the change that I see since my last visit, which was 5 years ago. And from this expo, I spent quality time in the exhibition in the International Exhibition Center. And I was astonished when I see all these exhibitions from local and multinationals. There's one thing I see, there's a clear trend in this expo. One thing is the electronic vehicles has been a dominant trend here. A lot of companies, local and multinational, they have demonstrated how they are investing in the electronic vehicles and how they building their software and even operating system in this paradigm shift. Why I call it paradigm shift? Because electronic vehicles definitely change the way the automotive industry landscape. At the very beginning, BMW, Daimler, General Motors, they are the pioneer of how to make a car. They know how to make a car, especially the engines. But nowadays, a lot of the newcomers, Xiaomi, Alibaba, Xiaopeng, Weilai, NIO, these newcomers, they just come in with a new philosophy, a new way of making vehicles, and the new architecture of how to make a car. So I think this paradigm shift is really something we have to pay extreme attention to, and this trend actually fits well into the good foundation of production foundation and manufacturing foundation of Chongqing. So it's surprising, and it's not surprising to me as well, that Chongqing has been one of the hottest or the pioneer city that implement electronic vehicle industry here. And secondly, I see a lot of Industry 4.0, the smart production or smart engineering stuff in these exhibitions, which is really impressive. I see those big internet giants, Tencent, Alibaba, they are bringing their new technologies, how to support this Industrial 4.0. And I also see a lot of local companies are doing this. And actually that also fits into a good fit into Thoughtworks capability, that how we can enable local companies from cultural transformation to software architecture to software engineering, and how to design the blueprint of digital transformation. So I think this is something I see the opportunities that we can collaborate with local partners and how to tackle into the entire digital journey of Chongqing manufacturers. So this is something I really learned a lot, and I very confident that there's a lot to do here with the local companies.
How do you see the current state of smart digitalization in Chongqing, and what advantages do you think the city holds compared to major international metropolises?
Yeah, actually, right before this interview, I had a conversation with a local journalist. He asked me, do you think the Chongqing, and along with the Western cities here in China, is kind of lag behind the digital transformation trend compared with the East Coast peers? I said yes or no. It depends on where you ask. If you are looking at digital transformation, is not a step-by-step approach that you first need to go to very traditional way, and then you move a step ahead, and then you eventually go to the digital edge. It's not that way. Sometimes the legacies could be your burden. And without the legacy, you can just move faster than your peers. So I think from this point of view, without too much legacy of traditional industry, informatization, ERP, older applications, these are the advantage of Chongqing local companies. They can actually go straight into digital. But the challenge for this part is not about the infrastructure or the foundation. It's more about the thinking process, the way of thinking how to do business. I think in this regards, the Eastern peer cities, the companies there, they are more digital oriented. So I think if the local companies can catch up with the cultural transformation of digital, and they can move faster than Eastern city parties because there's less legacy here. So I think advantage or disadvantage, it really depends on where we see from dollar incomes.
Finally, what are the short and long-term goals for Thoughtworks in China? And do you have a message you'd like to offer the audience of iChongqing as smart technology plays a greater role in everyday life?
Oh, that's a great question. From Thoughtworks' long-term strategy, we are going to be the digital partner of local and multinational companies in China. Actually, Thoughtworks China has been 100% localized. Everyone is Chinese citizen, 100% employed here. And we do all the investment here. We have been keeping investing for 10 years. And we got a lot of return on trust, credibility, or the market impact from partners and customers here. So, and for short term, of course, we are trying to expand our geographic territory from Chengdu to Chongqing. So this is something we're really seriously looking into, how we can expand our footprint here. I think that's a perfect timing. First is, if we look at the overall macro trend, economic trend and political trend, China is turning more towards manufacturing and also we call the real business or real economy instead of internet company, which is more virtual economy. It's been really good. E-commerce, gaming, which is no problem, extremely successful. And I think it's more time from also the leadership of the Chinese government that we need to really look into the real business, which can boost the employment, boost the foundation of the economy, and also eventually benefit the entire healthiness of the economy. So I think Chongqing is at the perfect position, such good foundation of manufacturing, production, also the talents. So this is the right place to boost this, I think, to boost this trend, also to elaborate our footprint here in the next couple of years, I would say. So for the audience in Chongqing, I really want to extend my appreciation to their creative work, like the Expo, really demonstrate their creativity and a sense of urgency, how you can digitalize and catch up with digital trend. Also, the accomplishments demonstrated in this Expo, I think is really impressive. So I'm really looking forward to work more with Chongqing and work more with the local partners and the local companies.